All right, I'm going to throw some names at you. Wolchuk, Chiafalo, Dawson.
Pat Mahomes.
Tell me. Guys on bubbles or guys okay?
Okay.
On these Dallas Cowboys, because tomorrow we've got a game. We got the pregame for you tomorrow. What 4 o'clock?
4 o'clock
from the stadium, and then we got the post after till midnight. So we'll be ready for you. We got you covered tomorrow against the Raiders. Jalen Brooks, bubble or has he made this? Or has he made this team?
I think he's made the team, but I think he's still kind of a bubble guy right now. You know, it depends on how many receivers they want to keep. Does he get caught in a numbers crunch? They keep 6, they keep 5. If they keep 6, I think he's going to be the 6th guy.
I agree 100%. I think he's as close to a lock as you can be, but they'd probably love to see him make a couple more plays to just feel great about keeping 6.
Yeah, I'm going to say he's in there. He's shown so much that they'll make room for him. They need quality like that kind of size. You know, that's the guy that slipped through the cracks for you. You don't want to risk him.
Does it come down to him or Simi Fehoko?
Yes.
That's a no-brainer.
And it would be him over Simi at this point. And I love Simi.
So Simi's not going to be on your team right now as we speak, right?
No. I don't believe there is a single thing, unfortunately, for Simi that he could do in tomorrow's outing that would make me think otherwise.
How about TJ Bass?
I think TJ Bass is on the team. I don't think he's a bubble guy. I think he might be your best backup guard right now.
Yeah, I think he's on the team for sure. And that's just for the fact that it's like, okay, if it's not TJ Bass, who's it going to be? The depth there right now is not that great, and he is a part of that conversation for sure. But he's a guy that you invest in, give him some time. He's on the football team.
Yeah, lock him in. He's already getting snaps with the 1. All these other guys have just they're not going to make it. So Bass has the most upside. He spent the fewest amount of time and is already showing the most potential. You water that flower, Brian. It's gonna sprout for you.
Well, I'd like to see them. I'd like to see him on the team. I wonder, like I say, I know they really like Brock Hoffman, but I don't know if Brock Hoffman is because I don't know if TJ Bass could be a center and a guard. So that's why I think the love for Brock Hoffman. I wonder if
because he can do both.
Because he can do both. And that's where I think you have to look at Matt Farniak too.
Sure.
Can Matt Farniak? I think Farniak is on the team because he can do both.
Well, then you already got your do both guy. Pick the better player between Hoffman and Bass. And wouldn't you say Bass has been better?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think Hoffman just looks like a practice squad guy right now.
Yeah. Sean McEwen on this team. Tight end.
Yes. Yeah, he's on the team. They're going to keep 4 tight ends, right? I think they are, and he's with the stuff that he does on special teams, knowing what I know about how much they seem to like him.
I think John Stevens would have made that thing really interesting for him.
I think John Stevens would have knocked him off the roster. And I think Lipke's going to be a practice squad guy, which will mean McEwen ends up being the 4th tight end because they might play some tight end fullback stuff as well.
I wonder if the fact that John Stevens was going to make this team, talking to Stephen Jones about it, I wonder if the fact that him being out, though, is that mean that instead of carrying McEwen, that they just go 3 tight ends? Because if they were going to figure out a way to keep Stevens as the 4th guy. But I wonder now with him being out, would they rather keep the spot and use it for something else? Because next question I'm going to ask you is Will Grier.
Well, he's an automatic now with the new quarterback rule.
Well, now you have to be on the 53. You have to be on the 53 to be in part of that rule. Or you can wave him through and then go practice squad to practice squad every week.
Well, then it would be the wave him through.
Yeah,
he's not on the 53. He's not. I mean, Will Grier to me isn't. I'd be looking elsewhere if you like somebody else from another team as well.
He's worth protecting, though. He's been around. He can throw a good deep ball. I want Will Grier around instead of another random veteran who's never going to be a starter, unless you can show me a young guy to trade for. And I don't think that's available right now.
How about Malik Davis? And I'm not concluding Ronald Jones in this group, but I'm thinking they're debating on whether keeping 4 or would you keep just 3? And I think Malik Davis might be the odd man out here.
I agree with you because I think Dowdle and Vaughn are in. So if they go 3 running backs, which I think they will, I think Malik Davis might be the odd man out.
Yeah, I mean, when you start just thinking about what we've talked about here, if you're going to have a conversation about, okay, Davis, McEwen, like I'd rather keep the 4th tight end McEwen than the 4th running back in Davis.
With Dowdle's injury history, though, you need that fourth running back. I think the good news with Davis, though, he hasn't produced enough that you have to really worry about losing him.
Yeah, I don't think he'd get scooped up.
Well, you don't have to worry about Ronald Jones on a cut because he's going to go 2 weeks on suspension.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll help us having to waive him right
Sure.
there. So, maybe you could figure that out.
He was so bad last year, though. I just look at him as he's used up for whatever he had, and now he's done. And I'm not using a roster spot on a veteran with low upside that was unproductive last year.
Isaiah Land.
I want Isaiah Land on the roster.
He's the edge.
I really
from
do.
Florida A&M.
I really want him. I really want him.
I do. I think you made a good point last week, Brian, where we get worried about, like, hey, can we get this guy to the practice squad? More often than not, you can, because we get worried about other teams picking him up, and I think he's going to be that guy.
You think he's going to get picked up, or they're going to get?
I think he's going to end up being on the practice squad.
Yeah.
I'd want to have really, really good intel and know, because his pass rushing ability, which is a premium skill, even if he results in a player who can't really do much else other than that, it is a skill set worth keeping in your building. I think he does it at a high enough level that I think he could impact your team as early as the first week of the season as a pass rusher. And I don't think that's something you risk letting slip out unless you know unequivocally he's going to make it through.
How about Neville Gallimore?
He's done. He spent enough time in this system. He was inactive last year against the 49ers because the team just didn't believe in him or didn't like his work ethic or whatever. There's just not enough to like with Neville Gallimore, and this team is now stacking up talent along the defensive line. They got to make tough calls, and if you're not showing me more than Gallimore has after, what, is this going into his 4th season? You're Dunsky, bro. We need these spots.
Cosign.
Yeah, I saw enough from Neville Gallimore last year getting pushed 4 yards backwards.
Final guy real quick here is Wanye Thomas.
I think Wanye Thomas is on the team.
Yeah, he's making the team for sure.
That's a baller right there.
Yeah, him and Marquise Bell.
Is he slow? Is that why he didn't get picked? He looks slow on TV.
He's a little bit. That was the speed was a little
But he's in the right places, right?
Yeah,
And he's got good hands.
Nope.
Yeah.
And he's a sure tackler, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, a lot to like about
He's got a
him.
good feel for the game, no doubt.
Yep. Cuts
Alrighty.
come down on Tuesday, not Monday, on Tuesday.